Alright, moving right along, on to our next topic, UFC news and fight talk. Let's kind of revisit our last topic for just 1 second. Let me know, what is your stipulations for Kamaru Usman being number one right now, or GOAT right now?
Well, I just think that the arguments that can be made that are over him are John Jones and Habib, and Habib's retired, have no ire to come back, or no desire to come back. So I don't think that you can put him over him. And then for John Jones, I think that as far as career-wise, I think John Jones could retire today, and he's the greatest fighter of all time, period. There's no argument. The way that he made his run through all the former champs early in his run, and for him to sustain the success and never lose, I do think that you have to commend him for being the greatest fighter of all time if he is to retire today. I don't think he needs to win the heavyweight title in order to be called that. But I think as far as right now, active fighters, John Jones has shown some chinks in his armor in his last few fights. Just to be honest, I mean, Thiago Santos, he took a scorecard away from John Jones in the fight. That was the first time John Jones had ever gone to a decision, and I think that Reyes beat him personally. I thought Reyes had put it on him. So John has shown to not be invincible in his last few fights. I think that Usman is getting to the point now to where no one can even be on the same playing field as him. He got caught by a shot by Gilbert Burns, but after that, he completely controlled the fight. Against Masvidal both times, he wrestled him the first time, and then he knocked him out the second time. I think the guy, Colby, gave him as much trouble as he could give him, and still wasn't enough. In that fifth round, Usman just completely put it on him. So you just compile all his performances, the fact that he's going out there, getting better after every fight. I think as far as active champions right now, I don't think there's another fighter in the organization who's on a hotter streak right now than Kamaru Usman.
All right. I see where you're coming from, but it's just, man, he's just so good and proven that time and time again. To this point, my point will always be made at this. It is a lot harder to keep that championship than it is to gain that championship, because when you have that championship, everyone in the world is training for you and no one else, dude. They are all gunning for you, hoping to fight you one day. But on the other hand, when you are fighting for the championship, or when you are the champion, you take on all these challengers over and over, a different one every single time. As where people are training for you for years, you get an 8 to 16 week training camp for that. And John has kept this on over 10 years now, man. Once Kamaru Usman will have that championship for 10 years straight and beat everyone, however many times he has to do it, then I will give Kamaru his props. But until then, man, John has he's just been 10 years of straight dominance, and Kamaru's only done it, 2 or 3 years now, man? It's not there. It's not there.
Quick caveat, you can't say 10 years because John had missed some years due to him having a couple of...
Would he have lost if he wasn't fighting, though? No.
No. You never know. You never know.
No.
The burnout. You never know. Because I think some of the good parts for John Jones is that he was able to get those breaks in between his career, even though it was self-sabotaging. A lot of times, like Robert Whittaker, he said he sustained a burnout. Rose was champ for 1 or 2 fights, and she sustained a burnout. John, even when he first came back, when he beat Alexander Gustafsson the second time, he told us how active he wanted to be, and that he missed it. And then he went 3 title fights, and he immediately got burned out. So maybe during that time, who knows if he could have gotten burned out and gotten caught. But you know how wild this sport is, so you never know if he could have lost a fight within those years. So to say 10 years is a stretch, but I think in terms of title defenses, I do think Usman needs a few more to be called the greatest of all time, but I'm talking currently, right now, there's no other dominant fighter. There's no other fighter that's more dominant than Kamaru Usman. Yeah, you can't convince me otherwise.
at 170 and at 185. We have Khamzat Boris Chimaev that has shown nothing but dominance. So we'll see. It may happen later this year, dude. You never even know. But let's not spend too much more time on it. Let's not spend too much more time on this, man. So, other news and fight talk. Izzy versus Vettori has been announced. I don't even want to see this, man. I'm going to be honest. I don't care for it at all. Whatever. The new Venom kits are actually kind of starting to grow on me, man. After seeing them like more and more, dude, I kind of like them. I'm not going to lie. Nick Diaz was in the crowd, and at the post-fight press conference, Dana White was asked, "What's Nick Diaz doing here?" And Dana White said, "Nick Diaz wants to fight. I got a meeting with him right after this." So we're going to talk about what's happening there. And then lastly, on my side at least, Tyron Woodley getting released from the UFC. Does this mean that he is going to start his boxing future and hopefully fuck up Jake Paul? That's what I want, but we'll talk about it, dude. So what do you want to talk about first here, man? Izzy versus Vettori, Venom Kids, Nick Diaz, Tyron, or something on your end?
More the Izzy and Marvin fight. As you know, Izzy is my favorite fighter. So I just, man, I really don't like the Marvin fight. I feel like the only reason why Marvin is getting the fight is because Izzy wants to be active, and Dana believes that Marvin Vettori is a guy that has reach over in Italy and has pulling power to the likes of Darren Till and Conor McGregor in Europe when it comes to nations standing behind you. So that's the reason why Marvin Vettori is getting a shot. It just seems weird that he has the same performance against Kevin Holland that Derek Brunson did. Derek Brunson beat him first. And Derek Brunson was ranked higher before, he was, and then they moved Vettori up to number 3 and give him the title shot. It just seems a little fishy the way they did Derek Brunson, but I would think that, of course, Whitaker deserved the chance more. Dana kind of spoke to saying that Whitaker wanted to come back around August or September, and Izzy wanted to come back in June. The show goes on, and Vettori gets a shot. But I think the only reason why he gets a shot, Vettori that is because the show has to go on, and Izzy is ready to come back. Because Izzy wasn't even excited to fight him. He just wants to come back and get active again. So, really not too excited about the announcement, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I just feel like the vengeance that Izzy is about to come back with is like none other. He's just going to smash Marvin, dude. So moving right along, what are your thoughts on the Venom kits now that we've seen a championship Venom kit and all the colors going on, man? Do you like them? Are they like, now? What's up, man?
I'm starting to like them a little more now. I think the initial rollout was a little tough because you couldn't really see the kits on them that well in the photo shoot with like Aljamain Sterling and Brian Ortega and them. When they were doing the photo shoot, you couldn't really see as my daughter's screaming in the background, you couldn't really see them displayed that well, but now you can see them displayed a little bit more, especially with the
as we lost Dorian, so I don't know what happened there. Well, there he is. So every week, man, dude.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Luckily enough, I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I was getting a call. Now I ended up, that ended up bumming me out. Now I ended up losing my train of thought.
It's okay. You enjoy the Venom kits.
The championship colors. Yeah, the championship colors down now that I've seen it, it has a good look. So, yeah, I actually do like the new Venom kits now.
I just hope that there is a little personalization. Like, I hope Bryce Mitchell gets his camo. I hope Sugar Sean can, get something cool with him too. But anyway, moving right along. Nick Diaz, dude. Do you think he's going to come back? Do you think he's going to fight someone? Or is this kind of just, I don't know, something else going on here, man?
The last couple of times that he's done that, he's never ended up getting another fight. So I don't see Nick Diaz coming back. Maybe, I don't know if he has another business venture to be pushing, but it almost seems like every time that Dana has ever talked about Nick Diaz fighting before, he had never see it happen. I was hearing some people talk about the possibility of him getting matched up with Masvidal, and I would definitely really like that. That would be a really fun matchup. But it seems like Nick Diaz, in the past, has never been really in love with fighting, and had been kind of content with where he's at now. So I don't really see him, or really anticipate making a comeback.
Fair enough, fair enough. It would be interesting to see the return of Nick Diaz. The last time we saw him was against Anderson Silva. The man laid down in the middle of the fight, taunting Anderson Silva. So everyone loves Nick Diaz. Hopefully we can see a nice return. So moving right along. The chosen one, Tyron Woodley, man, gets released. This is, man, how do I say this? I didn't want to see Tyron get released, but I was hoping that Dana would allow him to go on just one boxing venture, but I almost feel like now it's imminent. We're going to get Tyron Woodley in a boxing match. What do you think's going to happen here, man? Is he going to fight Jake Paul? Is he going to fight whatever the fuck the dude's name was? I don't even know. Or do you find him somewhere else, man? What's going on here?
Really unfortunate for Tyron Woodley, man. I really didn't want to see him get cut. I know he had the run-in with, I think it was Jay Leon Love, they call him.
I don't know his name,
boxing.
dude.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be Jake Paul. He said he wanted to fight Jay Leon Love in MMA, and he wanted to fight Jake Paul in boxing. But really unfortunate to see just the fall from grace that Woodley has had from being the welterweight champion to working his way up to being one of the welterweight greats. And ever since that loss to Usman, it was like, I don't know if Usman took his soul or what, but because I know he kind of beat the will out of him for 5 rounds, and man, it just seemed like ever since then, Woodley has just not been able to be himself or be the guy that we had known him to be. And of course, he's a little bit older now, so he is close to 40. Super talented guy. The guy can, he's a really good TV analyst. He's a really good coach. Very great mind in MMA. So I think, outside of the Octagon, if he does decide to step away, he has definitely plenty of other ventures that he can climb into and be successful. But man, it really sucks to see him get cut. What's next for him? Whether he gets that Jake Paul fight, who knows, man. If he does, go get a payday. I'm really not super interested in seeing it. I'd like to see him kind of ride off now. Kind of call it quits while it's good right now.
I would love to see him knock Jake Paul's head through wherever they're fighting, dude. That would make my fucking night. I don't know. I think Tyron still has some fight left in him. I would like to still see him fight. I don't know where. I'm down to watch Tyron wherever he ends up at, man. So, any other news that you want to talk about, man, or is that about it? I can't hear you. You muted yourself, man.
Oh, yeah, I need to get a little bit better about that. But yeah, no, really, just the Izzy Marvin one was kind of the one that was kind of, itching at me the most, just Marvin getting the shot.
Fair enough.